Hi everyone, Dr. Jay Mehta here from Mumbai. In today's masterclass, let's try and understand the endometrium. So the endometrium is a beautiful interplay of hormones which occurs between the uterus and the ovary. And this usually occurs in separate phases of the menstrual cycle. Okay, so let's start with the first phase. The first phase is obviously the menstrual phase. All right. What is the characteristic of the menstrual phase of the endometrium? So if I draw the endometrium for people, you will realize that the endometrium actually composes of something called as the basal layer. All right. And above the basal layer, there is something called as stratum spongiosum, right? Now, due to absence of hormones, that is due to reduction of estrogen and due to reduction of progesterone, what is going to happen is that the spiral arterioles which are supplying the endometrium are going to get vasoconstricted. Okay, this is going to induce apoptosis in the stratum compactum and stratum spongiosum of the endometrium, which will then cause a part of the endometrium to shed off. It's so simple, right? This is the menstrual phase. Remember, in all of this, it is the stratum basalis or the basal layer which stays intact. Okay, always the shedding occurs in either the spongiosum or in compactum, but it is predominantly in compactum. All right. Now, women who have irregular shedding or incomplete shedding are going to have menstrual problems. It's such a simple thing. If you understand this concept, you will understand that due to lack of estrogen and lack of progesterone, you have irregular shedding. All right. So, what is the treatment for irregular shedding? It is either to give progesterone or to give estrogen plus progesterone, which is in the form of OCPs. It's so simple, right? Now, once the menstrual phase is finished, we go to the second phase. And the second phase is going to be the early secretory phase. I'm sorry, it's going to be the early proliferative phase. Okay. What is the early proliferative phase? In the early proliferative phase, as we all know, from the ovary, a cohort of follicles has already been stimulated. Okay. So if I draw the ovary here, you will have a cohort of follicles which are going to get stimulated. And if I draw the endometrium is going to be a thin endometrium. Alright, so in the early proliferative phase, what is going to happen is that the basal layer is going to stay intact, okay, as we all know, because basal layer typically contains the stem cells, okay, this is going to stay intact. The layer above that, which we talk of the stratum spongiosum, okay, it is going to grow, okay, so I'm just drawing the microscopic picture of how it actually begins to grow. It is going to grow. The glands inside that, no, are going to have columnar epithelium inside that. Okay, vascularity is going to creep in. All these things are going to occur due to the regenerative effect of estrogen. Okay, this is very, very important. It is the hormone estrogen which is secreted by the follicles, which goes and acts on the endometrium and allows the regeneration to occur in the early proliferative phase. Once the early proliferative phase is done, we go to the phase which we all are interested in, and that is the late proliferative phase. Now, this is a very important phase, okay? In the late proliferative phase, what do we see? We see that the basal layer stays intact, and if I draw the endometrium, see, the size of the endometrium is increased, right? So, you have glands which have become more tortuous, large glands, you have arterioles which are coming inside and are extremely tortuous. Okay, you have pseudo stratified epithelium, so the epithelium has also become dense inside this glandular tissue. So simple to understand and observe, no? And when you see an endometrium like this, remember the follicles, okay, which we have drawn from the early follicular phase have now actually become a dominant follicle here, right? So we have a dominant follicle which is secreting a good amount of estradiol, which is acting on the endometrium, which ultimately gives us this beautiful triple line appearance. Now, what is very, very important for all of us to note here, okay, is that irrespective of the number of days of estrogen, beyond a certain point in time, the endometrium is not going to really grow in size. Okay, so let's assume typically on day 12 or day 13 or day 11, let's say it is going to be somewhere around this picture. Thereafter, even if the follicle continues to secrete estrogen, the size of the endometrium doesn't really increase. That is very important. The other thing we must understand is, because estrogen is present, estrogen has a lot of other properties, and one of the properties which estrogen has is to stimulate progesterone receptors. Okay, very simply we must understand that progesterone receptors are two types: progesterone receptors A and progesterone receptors B. That's all that we need to understand. But we must remember that receptor A is important and it is constant. Okay, simultaneously, when these hormonal shifts are happening, what is going to happen is that the endometrium is now going to shift from an early proliferative phase to an early secretory phase. Okay, and this early secretory phase is the phase which is very close, just about when the ovulation is going to occur, and just after the ovulation for the first 3 to 4 days. All right, because remember, after the first 3 to 4 days of ovulation, the endometrium is not really going to increase in size. That is very, very important. But the picture inside is pretty unique. So when I look at the early secretory phase, you are going to see a completely different ball game which is going to occur inside the endometrium. In the early secretory phase, again, the basal endometrium is going to be the basal endometrium. It is going to stay like that. If I look at the endometrium above that, and if I draw the glands are going to develop vacuoles inside. Okay, this is one of the first signs of secretory changes which occurs inside the endometrium. This is one of the first signs. And remember, when we give vaginal progesterone in assisted reproduction, vaginal progesterone induces beautiful secretory changes despite not achieving good plasma concentrations. This is a very important thing which you can verify the effect of your vaginal progesterone, and multiple studies are available which prove that vaginal progesterone gives wonderful secretory changes inside, which is one of the first signs of having ovulation. The arterioles are going to become very, very tortuous inside. There is going to be increase in the blood supply. There is going to be increase in small amount of endometrial fluid which is secreted, which contains lots of things. You know, it contains lot of immunoglobulins, it contains lot of relaxins, it contains something which is very important, which is VEGF, which is important for implantation. So all these changes are going to be induced in the early secretory phase. After the early secretory phase is finished, we reach typically the phase of implantation, which is very important for us to understand. The only thing which we need to know as far as implantation is concerned is that implantation phase usually, okay, this usually occurs at around day 20 to 22 of the menstrual cycle. That is when usually a blastocyst is going to enter from the fallopian tube inside the uterine cavity. And once it enters inside the uterine cavity, one must understand that the upper 2/3, okay, the upper 2/3 of the uterus, this part of the uterus has the best changes as far as the implantation is concerned. And that is the reason, precisely, when we do an embryo transfer in IVF, we always want to place the embryo somewhere here, which is at a distance of around 1 centimeter from the fundus, so that we can give this embryo the best chance of implantation. And this is the logic for placing the embryo there, because the implantation changes are going to be the best in the upper 2/3 of the uterine cavity. All right. When we look at the late secretory phase, what typically happens after the implantation phase is finished? What typically happens here? Okay, you must remember this thing, because these vessels are very, very, very sensitive to hormones. Okay, so if I look at the late secretory phase, again, let's draw the basal endometrium for you. And once you draw the basal endometrium, you have the cavity. Okay, and once you look at the endometrial cavity, you have these large tortuous glands which are present. Wonderful presence of the entire epithelium along with wonderful secretory changes inside here. Okay, and by this time, okay, if things are good, then there is going to be a blastocyst embryo which is going to be here, and this blastocyst embryo is going to go and get implanted inside. Now once this blastocyst embryo goes and gets implanted inside the compactum, because that's the region, the top part, okay, the stratum compactum, that is when it begins to secrete HCG from inside. And once HCG is secreted, what does HCG do? HCG is going to go and maintain the corpus luteum. This is very, very important feedback. Otherwise, if in case there is no implantation and there is no HCG, there is going to be a negative feedback which is going to reduce the estrogen and the progesterone. It is going to abruptly cut it off. The vessels which are supplying the endometrium, since they are hormone sensitive, they are going to undergo vasoconstriction. And if there is no implantation, after 3 to 4 days of vasoconstriction and apoptosis, the pulsatility of apoptosis and vasoconstriction increases and the lady will get back into menses. Now, understanding this is extremely important. This is because if we understand this, we will exactly know how do we play in an artificial manner. How do we balance the effect of corpus luteum on the endometrium? How do we balance the effect of ovary on the endometrium and achieve a similar environment artificially as and when it is needed for us in assisted reproduction? I hope all of you enjoyed this masterclass. We'll get back with many more masterclasses. Thank you so much.